Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's been a while, isn't it? Hasn't it? Isn't it? Whatever. Hi, everyone, and welcome. How are you doing? Can everyone please tell me if the sound is okay, if everything is all right? Do you hear me well? Hello, hello, hello. Test, test, test. Tick tock, time to rock. I'm totally appropriating David Wood here. Hi guys, it's really been a while. I haven't been here for a live chat for quite a long time now. I think it's been about 2 months or more. I don't even know. But I'm feeling much better. It's great to be back. It's great to have a live chat again with you people. And I've seen many questions already before I started. I can go into those right away. And you can ask me anything. You can tell me anything. You can give me advices. You can tell me to shut up and all those things. And I won't care if you tell me to shut up, but anyway, I'm here. Hi guys. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah. Notifications didn't go out, I think, as I see. Anyway, I'm here. I hope everyone is doing well. Tell me that you are doing well. Tell me that you are staying away from Islam. Tell me that you are taking all those great advices, and we can start talking right away. At first, I want to say something about the India incident. As many people from India and other places nearby know, there has been a terrorist attack in India only last week, a few days ago. Others might not know very well, but as far as I have seen, there has been a terrorist attack from a Pakistani terrorist group called Jaish-e-Mohammed, which means Army of Muhammad. What a surprise! This terrorist organization is based in Pakistan, is operating in Pakistan, and from what we know about the past of this organization, the Pakistani Secret Service even kind of helped establishing this organization and kind of covered their activities up. And there have been lots of reports of Pakistan authorities helping this terrorist organization. And this terrorist organization is still active within Pakistan and commits terrorist attacks in India in the name of Islam and in the name of Pakistan. So sorry to everyone who is affected by that. I didn't really follow the news very well back then. I checked it out a little bit later. But yeah, I think 40 people died or more people died after as a result of that attack. Let's hope such things don't happen, but let's also hope that India and all the other countries that are affected by Islamic terrorism do something against Islamic terrorism. And it would also be useful, I think, for us to spell out the actual names of those terrorist organizations, calling it Jaish-e-Mohammed or Army of Muhammad instead of abbreviations, or calling the Islamic State instead of calling it ISIS, because that's exactly what they claim and that's exactly what they do. Anyway, very surprising Islamic terrorist attack. Pakistan should really get its stuff together, should start cracking down on people. In honor of that, I want to make a video about Pakistan quite soon, actually. And I also have a plan this week to talk a little bit about India and about the Indian and Hindu opposition to Islam, because Indians oppose Islam quite differently from the way Westerners oppose Islam. They have quite a different relationship with Islam as Western people have. And anyway, I will go into all of that. No, that doesn't mean I support T-Series. Please subscribe to PewDiePie. I'm just kidding. Let's not even go into that stupid talk. So that said, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for all those who are still coming in and joining. Thanks everyone. I'm doing very well. I've seen quite a lot of questions about my health. I'm doing very well. I've had a little bit. I've had a few issues before. That's why I had to cancel my live chats and other activities, but I'm getting so much better. I'm working out on a daily basis. I'm trying to do so much more meaningful things for myself that make me happier. I would suggest everyone to do the same. So yeah, my health is much, much better. Thanks everyone for asking. I want to go into one thing that I've seen before the start of the live chat. Many people ask me about a very, very certain specific person who keeps making YouTube videos about me, which is also related to my FBI video that I made recently, where I don't know if I guess everyone has seen it. The FBI visited me and talked to me because some idiot thought it would be a very great idea to report me to the FBI and make false accusations against me. And I had a very small, very nice talk with the FBI and turned the whole case around against this guy. But I don't even want to spell out his name. I don't even want to say the name of this guy who makes these videos about me and who called the FBI on me, because he's just asking for attention, and I don't want to give him that attention. I approached him 3 times, very peacefully, very reasonably, and all 3 times he found some bullshit reason to come back and insult me again, instead of talking normally and reasonably about things, about Islam, about our differences, and so on. So I don't want to give that guy any attention. If you happen to see his name or the name of his channel in the comment section, I see some people are already typing it in the chat. You can go and see what an arrogant person that is. I don't even know if he realizes what an arrogant person he is, or if he does it intentionally and loves his ego. But you know, he sits there in front of a very weird backdrop, sits there, shows his feet to his Muslim audience, and it's generally this. Has a mug in his hand, and it's like, "Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum." So, the Apostate Prophet is a very irrelevant, very unimportant person. But for some reason, I'm still talking about him, although I'm telling you people that I'm always busy. But for some reason, I always find time to talk about Apostate Prophet. I'm a giant child. Thank you. So anyway, what am I doing? That's all I have to say about that weirdo. So now that we are done with that, someone asked me what nationality I am. I'm Turkish German American. Turkish German American. I'm from Turkey. I was born in Germany, and I'm currently living in America, which is a great country to live in. I invite everyone else to America, but not in masses, and especially not across the southern border. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's be serious for a moment and let's go into questions. Tip 001 made a super chat. Thank you so much. I respond to super chats immediately because people pay money for these things and attach questions to those things. So I don't want to have them wait or ignore them, because if I made a super chat to someone and paid and paid a lot of money to do that, I would be pretty pissed if the person just ignored that. You know, that's very mean. Anyway, you do a very good job explaining the basic problems with Islam. Just some support from Europe. Keep healthy. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. I thought there was a question attached to that, but anyway, thank you so much. J001 tip 001. Thank you. Okay. Now that we went through mockery and all the other unnecessary talk, what do I think about Bosnian Muslims? I think Bosnian Muslims are very different from all the other Muslims in the Middle East, North Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and so on. I think we even have a term for European, for the Balkan Muslims by now. I think some people call them Euro Muslims or European Muslims or something like that. There is a specific term for that, which describes Muslim nations that are inside Europe, like Bosnians and some Albanians and other people in Europe. And I don't know. I don't have a very specific opinion on them. They are usually much less radical than you can find radical Muslims in other countries, in other cultures. But apart from that, I wouldn't make any generalization about them. I'm just cool with them. I'm cool. Okay, those were my 4 notes that I made. Now let's come to live questions. Let's come to all the viewers who have questions, and let me just go through questions and talk about these things. If I have something in between, any opinion that I want to share with you, I will gladly do that. I will respond to super chats immediately. By the way, many people send me PayPal donations. I appreciate that very much. I thought, why waste that opportunity? So, if people want to send me PayPal donations, and I'm very glad for that so many people are doing that, it would be very nice if you attached questions to those PayPal donations, because as far as I know, you can attach a note to your PayPal donation. If you can do that, I would gladly give you a response or take your question into the next live chat and answer it here. So thank you so much for making donations, but if you want to, please attach questions to that. I would totally do that if I was in your position. Samuel Barrett asked a question and made a super chat. Thank you so much, Samuel. He said, quick question. What do you say to Muslims who claim that we are using mistranslations of the Arabic? I say it's nonsense. I say it's complete nonsense. Very quick note on that. We have very widely accepted Quran translations, such as Yusuf Ali Mohsin Khan. We have Pict Hall. We have Sahih International, and we have some others like Arbery, the Arbery translation of the Quran, for example. And these translations have all been authorized and certified by very, very credible sources that also educate millions of people on Islam. So those Quran translations are the most widely circulated Quran translations that we have and that we see everywhere. And when people criticize Islam, they usually take translations from those Quran translations, and those are very, very credible, very authentic, very reliable. So you can find this information anywhere online, and if anyone tells you that the Arabic translation of the Quran is wrong that you use, you can just tell them to go build a sandcastle. Ultra Funky made a super chat. It's here and said, would you say the Hadith are an innovation? Thank you so much, Ultra Funky. I want to talk in future about that further. I think many Hadith have some truth to them because they carry an oral tradition that came from Muhammad. They carry information that came from Muhammad that people have witnessed and reported in the future after Muhammad. So I think many of them are quite reliable, but most of them seem to be just weird. I wouldn't trust Hadith literature completely. The reason I use Hadith to refute Islam, to criticize Islam, to make fun of Islam, is that most Muslims accept Hadith as completely authentic, and Hadith are a fundamental part of Islam. I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much for your super chat. Let's come to regular questions. I'm sorry if I miss most questions, but before I talk much longer about that, let me just answer a question. Okay, personal question, but I like this question actually. White Rock Shooter said, do you think in English, German, or Turkish? I think mostly in German, but recently for the last year, I have increasingly started to think more in English. So I think mostly in, I would say 70%, no, I would say, yeah, by now 70% English, 25% in German, and 5% in Turkish. When I'm angry, I think in Turkish. Thanks for the question. Very interesting question, by the way. Rachel Shiva said, you are all promoting hate speech. Yes, we are. You are welcome. Yep. So what else? Nikhil Dianobachitri, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm very sorry, said, thoughts about recent Pulwama terrorist attack in India. I answered, I talked a little bit about the incident, the Pulwama terrorist attack in India at the beginning of this live chat. So if you missed it, you can go back to the beginning, or you can go back after this chat is over, and then you can see that I made a few words about that. But again, it's an Islamic terrorist attack. There is no denial to that. People say suicide bombers have no religion, terrorists have no religion. That's all nonsense. Those people do these things completely inspired from Islam, which doesn't mean that all Muslims are terrorists or all who follow Islam are terrorists. But that also doesn't mean that that terrorists have nothing to do with Islam. Okay. Robert M., thank you so much. Thank you all so much for nice comments. I appreciate all those nice comments. I'm trying to look for questions. It's pretty hard right now. What is my opinion on Adam Saleh? Simon Duran. Adam Saleh is that weird YouTuber, right? Who started making Muslim-ish Islamic talks first, and then he started to dive more and more into popularity, into music and women and this and that. I don't know. He seems to be a pretty confused person, but let me not talk about such people. Ask me about Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa. Bird of the Abyss made a super chat. Thank you so much, Bird of the Abyss. Said, is the serpent symbolism in the name Allah intentional? Also, some people have commented on a similarity between Shiva's trident and the W shape in the name of Allah. I wouldn't say they are. I would say I know why some people would think it is, but I wouldn't say it has anything to do with that. I think it's just a regular Muslim, a regular Arabic Islamic form of beautifying texts, and especially since it is the name of Allah, the Almighty God in Islam, it is intentionally made very, very. It's supposed to be beautiful. It's not, I know, but yeah, I don't think there is any big conspiracy about that. But thank you so much for your super chat. And we have more super chats. Thank you, guys. Rum Runner said, have you heard about the large-scale conversation of Kurds from Islam to their ancestral Zoroastrianism in the wake of the Islamic State's defeat? I have heard and read a little bit about that. I'm not really following the whole conflict since I moved away from Turkey. When I was in Turkey, I used to be much more on top of all that stuff that was going on in Syria and with the Kurdish people and so on. But ever since I came here, I started being less and less involved with all of that. But if that happens, that's great, because many Kurdish people are not necessarily Zoroastrians. They also have other ethno-religious beliefs or other pagan beliefs beside Zoroastrianism. But if they do that, that's great, because compared to Islam, Zoroastrianism, for example, has some great morality with also some quite weird things, like some stuff about incest. I don't even want to go into it, but Zoroastrianism is a very nice worldview in that it promotes morals over duties, which is the opposite of Islam, which promotes duties over morals. But yeah, thanks for the question. Tiger X said, do you think the American melting pot model will melt second-generation Islamic immigrants? Interesting question. Thank you so much. I would say yes, but I would say it will also have a lot of flaws in that mixing process, and we can usually see that if we look at Europe, specifically at countries like Britain or Germany or the Netherlands or France or Sweden, for example. But I hope so. I hope so. I'd hope so. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. By the way, everyone who's here, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Declare jihad on the like button. Thank you so much. John TDC said, all the best from Essex. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat, John. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, so much for joining. Thank you all so much for making beautiful, nice comments, asking questions. I'm trying to go through as much as possible here. DC said, what do you think about Sheikh Yasser Qadi? Is he credible and really moderate, or just a typical conservative Salafist? Also, what do you think about Sheikh Khalid Yasin? I'm not very familiar with, to be very honest, about the distinction between the two, but wait. No, let me leave that to later. Let me come back to that later. I have a problem with names. But thank you so much for the question, and thank you so much for the super chat. All right. Rob Daly said, AP, how many Muslims actually know what the Quran teaches? Very relevant question, because, the thing is, many ex-Muslims, many former Muslims, like me, I don't like the ex-Muslim label very much, but I'm just saying it, whatever. Many former Muslims usually say that that many Muslims are very, very minimally informed about Islam. That most Muslims don't read the Quran, don't read the Hadith, don't read the biographies about Muhammad, and so on. And many Muslim apologists in opposition say that this is just a false claim, and that we somehow imply that if more Muslims understood Islam and studied Islam, that they would become ex-Muslims and non-Muslims just like us. But to be very honest, when I was a religious Muslim, when I was a very, very hardcore religious Muslim, I looked at the Muslim community around me, I looked at the Muslim community in the world, and I felt ashamed at how most Muslims have no idea about Islam. Most Muslims have never properly read the Quran in a language that they can understand. Most Muslims acquire their knowledge on Islam from their local imams. They go to their local imams and ask them questions, or look for a more knowledgeable person and ask them questions about the religion. Most Muslims don't sit down and actually study the religion by themselves. So it was my observation back then, and this never changed. I would say that the vast majority of Muslims have no idea about Islam, which is why I very comfortably said that I know far more about Islam than the average Muslim and than most Muslims do. But yeah, that's why I'm also always open to Muslims coming here and having conversations with us about Islam, so that they can be confronted with elements within Islam that they have never heard of before, so that they can see something about the Quran and maybe be encouraged to sit down and read about all these things in their own fundamental Islamic scripture. Because who knows? Many people leave Islam when they sit down and study these things completely and compare Islamic teachings with their current modern Western teachings, or just current modern teachings. I was the same. I left Islam mostly because the morality in Islam and the logic in Islam just didn't really combine very well with my Western worldview and with my far more advanced education that I received in the West. So if we can bring more Muslims to that would be amazing, right? So, but thank you so much for the question. Someone said, "What's your real name?" My real name is Ridvan Aydemir. I have a real name too, just like you. All right. Bernita said, "You are living in America. Have you met other ex-Muslims there?" I have joined an ex-Muslim organization, but I haven't met any other ex-Muslims around me. I haven't met anyone around me. No, no. There are pretty much no Muslims around here where I live, so I'm not very much confronted with people who were Muslims or are Muslims. But thank you for the question. Rami Tobinson, welcome. I always see you here. It's always nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Simon Durrance says, "Why do Islamic terrorists often target mosques for their attacks?" I would say that often wouldn't be an accurate word to use. I think most often they don't target Islamic buildings or mosques. It's just, some Muslim apologists who try to sell the narrative that terrorism has nothing to do with Islam always bring up terrorist attacks against mosques in order to strengthen their narrative that Islam has nothing to do with terrorism. But there are undeniably attacks by groups like the Islamic State against mosques, against local mosques. I would say it's not a big conspiracy. I mean, those groups are openly for Islam, they follow Islam, they preach Islam wherever they are. Most of their members join these groups because they think this is Islamically the right thing to do. If they target mosques, from what I have seen, they usually target mosques that disagree with their teachings. Like, if an Islamic State terrorist destroys a Shia mosque, they completely justify that because they consider the Shia mosque a house that is not a place dedicated to the real God, Allah, because they consider Shia Muslims not only heretics, but directly infidels, kafir. But they can even justify attacks against quite normal mainstream Sunni Muslims, because I don't know how far you have gone into the ideology of Islamic State terrorists and Al Qaeda and all the others, but they are pretty extreme in how they divide the Muslim community among themselves. They will very easily say things like that a regular Muslim is a heretic, to say the least, or a very shameful Muslim, or if a mainstream Sunni Muslim rejects the self-proclaimed caliphate, they can even declare this person a heretic or a non-Muslim altogether. So it shouldn't be very, very confusing that these organizations also target mosques. But thank you for the question. James SC said, what can be done to show Muslims a positive vision of secularism that appeals to them as being more desirable than an Islamic vision? Are we neglecting being positive about our alternative to Islam? I would say we shouldn't even sweat ourselves that much about these things. I mean, I think one of the failures of our treatment with speech and our stances on Islam and Muslims as a minority and mass Muslim immigration in the West is a result of how we always think we have to, talk in the right way to minorities, to Muslims, for example. We have to approach them in a peaceful and nice way. No, you don't. You don't have to try so hard. In the West, we have great values that make the West so great. We have values of freedom of speech. We have values of appreciating each other and appreciating our opinions, of letting people speak, of valuing opinions, of valuing women and minorities, and so on. And if we just stand our ground and present and live our values as we have them and as we learned them, as we preach them, everything should be good. The people who come into the West, who start living in the West, will also try to adopt to this and see how it's great. There really is no positive use. There really is no use in trying to bend our values and bend our speech so much in order to include Muslims somehow into that. Secularism is nice, as we have experienced so far. Our democracies, our Western values are working very well. If people are willing to come and live inside of this system, if they are willing to live with freedom here, they can live. If they don't, they can get the hell out. I know that's pretty harsh. No, it's not actually. It's not harsh at all. But thank you so much for the comment. Jadu79 said, have you intended to make a video where you go through the differences between most of the directions of Islam? I am planning on doing that. I'm planning on doing that more in the future. For now, I think there are many other things that I want to focus on, but I would definitely do that. Soon I want to go into comparing all religions to Islam. I want to compare Christianity to Islam, Judaism to Islam, the Hindu way of living to Islam, Buddhism to Islam, and so on. I recently made a video about why I don't criticize other religions besides Islam, but I want to elaborate even further on that, because everyone really needs to see how Islam is different and why Islam doesn't deserve any respect at all. Will for Jesus said, what are your thoughts on Jesus Christ and the Bible? I think I made it clear a couple times before. I like Jesus as a character very, very much. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in the divinity of Jesus. I don't believe in the Bible. I am practically an atheist. I'm a free thinker. I make up my own thoughts about these things, but I like Christianity generally as a way of living. I like the Christian mentality. I like the Christian, the Christian mentality of loving each other and forgiving each other and being nice to each other, which you can observe wherever you go here in the West, usually. Jesus Christ, I think, is a very nice, is a very great character, especially if we compare him to other characters within certain religions that I talk about very, very much, like Islam. It's only a religion, it's not religions. The Bible compared to Islam, especially the New Testament, is quite nice. I like it very much. I mean, I have read quite a deal of it. And especially if you come from a Muslim background and have read the Quran all your life and see a book where it talks to 60% about the enemy and how the enemy is horrible, and then you come and read the Gospels, then you are just a little bit fascinated with that. But yeah, I usually have a positive view on Christianity. Of course, there are some things that I disagree with about Christianity. I don't believe in Christianity and so on, but generally I'm quite positive about it. I'm quite positive about most of religions that we have in our time. Except Islam. Except Islam. But thank you so much for the super chat. Bird of the Abyss made another super chat. Thank you so much, Bird of the Abyss, and said, is it true that the name of Allah is the greatest deceiver? Is it an accurate translation, and do Muslims acknowledge Allah as a being of evil as well as good, or do they view him as a wholly benevolent? I would, that's a very big discussion that I see so often happening between Muslim apologists and critics of Islam, whether Allah is called the greatest deceiver or not. The thing is, the Quran literally calls Allah the greatest deceiver. But to be very fair, it says that because it tells a story. I don't correctly remember the reference right now, but it is a story. It is a statement on where it says that the infidels, the polytheists, the pre-Islamic pagans, try to, trap the Muslims and deceive the Muslims and this and that, and then it tries to say, miserably that Allah is a better deceiver. That He's the greatest of deceivers. So they try to do that to you, but Allah is much better in what they do to them. It's a bit of a weird thing to say in the holy book of Islam, but it is indeed there. But I had the idea to make a video about that, and I would likely go into explaining that further and trying to stay very fair on the topic. But thank you so much for the comment and for the super chat, Bird of the Abyss. Ben Wagoner said, from one medical doctor to another. I wanted to start the live chat with, hello, this is Zakir Naik, but I totally forgot that. Enjoy a bacon omelet. Finally got all your vids watched. Make some more. Love your collabs with David Wood. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the great wishes and your comment. Thank you so much. I would love to have a dialogue with Zakir Naik one day. That's my dream. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? If I had Zakir Naik as a guest here on my YouTube channel. Anyway, Christo Salvador said, "Can you speak Arabic?" No, I don't. I don't speak Arabic. I know a little bit of Arabic. I know words in Arabic. I can study Arabic and go into the sentence structure, go into what each word means and this and that, but I don't speak fluently Arabic, no. But thank you so much. Romy Tobinson said, your channel is flying, mate. Well done. Thank you so much, Romy Tobinson. Thank you for always being here. Nick Dolan said, what do you think about the theory by Dan Gibson that Petra was the original Mecca? Okay, thank you so much for the question. Thank you for the super chat. I just made a tweet very recently about that. I think that was yesterday. Yes, I made a tweet yesterday about that in which I briefly said that I looked further into Dan Gibson's theory that Petra was actually that the Mecca that Muslims believe in, where the Kaaba is actually Petra, but that Muslims at some point moved the Kaaba to Mecca and changed and covered everything up and changed the Islamic history, and that most Muslims follow a wrong thing right now. I looked a bit further into that history, and I didn't give it very much credibility before. And after looking into it further, after watching a bit of Dan Gibson's documentary, I still think that it is mostly unconvincing. The theory about Mecca actually being Petra, to me, seems unconvincing. There are so many flaws about it. Like, the major argument for Petra is that many early mosques were facing Petra. instead of Mecca. But the thing is, it's a very well-known fact that early mosques were facing Jerusalem, which Dan Gibson seems to be omitting in his documentary. And if you open a map and look at Mecca or Medina, and consider the measure, consider the direction from Medina to Petra and the direction to Jerusalem. They're basically the same. So I don't think that early mosques were actually facing Petra. They were actually facing Jerusalem. But this is a very, very long, complicated topic. I would gladly love to make a video about that very soon and share my opinions about what I think about that. I'm still very open to that whole stuff about Petra, but for now, I think it's unconvincing. But thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for the question. There are so many super chats coming in. I can't even go into the regular questions right now, but well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let me pick some regular questions here. Hassan Kader's Vidovitz can arrange a meeting with Dr. I'm going to have Vidovitz here very soon, by the way. Now that I have come back to my live chats, I will also have Vidovitz here very soon so that we can have a nice conversation together. He's a quite funny guy. So if you want to check out his YouTube channel too, it's called Vidovitz. He makes quite funny videos about Islam and other things. It's very, very nice. MB said, Apostate Prophet, are you ashamed of your culture? Depends on what you define as culture. I am a German-born. I was born in Germany into a Turkish Muslim family, so I identify much more with the German culture because I was always much closer to the German way of thinking and to the German way of living and looking at the world. I had usually a much more German mentality, and I'm definitely not ashamed of that. I'm very, very proud of that and very happy that I was born in Germany. Regarding Turkey, my Turkish culture or my Muslim culture, I don't really have a very great connection to my Turkish culture because I never thought that it was in any way relevant to me. It's only the culture of my parents and my grandparents. It has nothing to do with me. So I'm not ashamed of that. I just don't own that culture. As for Muslim, isn't it very obvious? I just don't like it, and I distance myself from it. But thanks for the question. Milad Nushin Ravan said, what do you think of Shia Islam in comparison to Sunni Islam? I think it's not very, very different it's very different fundamentally. It's very different in how both of these branches of Islam are structured, and the history of both of these are quite different. But I would say if we think about the mentality of both groups, there is not really a very, very big difference. Shia Islam was historically not very different from Sunni Islam in how they treated minorities and others. Shia caliphates have even been much worse to minorities, like the Fatimid Caliphate in history. As for rules within the religion, the Sharia within the religion, Shia Islam evidently proves to be even worse at some points, like in Iran or in Iraq, compared to many Sunni-dominant jurisdictions and places. But other than that, I would like to go into the differences between the two sometime, but I don't think there is very, very big of a difference between Shia Islam and Sunni Islam. They are both pretty crazy in what they propose for the world. Okay, let's get back to super chat questions. I have two here. Rum Runner said, why do so many Minos, Muslim in name only, in the West refuse to leave Islam? They don't pray, they drink, they party, but still call themselves Muslims. Is it because of family, culture, or something? I would say it has mainly three reasons. One is that Islam is a very, very strong culture, a very strong tradition. It's absolutely strong because it is a religion that teaches that if you leave the religion, you are a shame to your entire culture, to all your people, and you deserve to die for that. Apostasy is punished with death in Islam. And that has certainly left a big impact on Muslim culture and Muslim society so far in our time and in the past. Another reason is that because of that, Muslim families, Muslim communities are usually very, very strict. And if someone only questions Islam in public, if someone says, I don't really believe in this religion anymore, that's a very, very huge shame as well. And this person can be really treated very, very harshly by Muslims, by other Muslims, which is why many Muslims who don't even care about Islam, who don't even practice Islam, will probably never leave Islam because of this pressure. And the third reason is that many Muslims in the West have this identity issue. As said, Muslim culture is a very strong culture. Islamic tradition and culture is very strong. And when these people come into the West as a minority, as immigrants, or as children of immigrants, as second and third generations, because of this strong tradition and strong culture, they carry Islam, their religion, their culture, as an identity in front of Western identity and Western culture. It's more of a pride issue, and unless a person is really very open and very honest to themselves, it will be very, very hard for them to just disavow their Islamic bonds and their Islamic culture. That's why even many ex-Muslims in Europe, for example, have a lot of trouble saying anything about Islam, and most ex-Muslims in the West just don't even say that they are ex-Muslims. They just share their apostasy in small communities and don't otherwise talk in public about it at all. It's sad, but that's how it is. But thank you so much for the question. Tip 001 said, okay, a question. How important is the social control of the Muslim community in keeping the Muslims on their backward culture? What? Okay, how important is the social control of the Muslim community in keeping the Muslims on their backward culture? As you say, they don't know much about the Quran. It has to be something with habit. I think that's pretty much the same thing that I just talked about, but I have seen your comment only now. But especially in the Islamic world, it is very important to follow the local imam and follow what older Muslims say. This whole old people, this whole my tradition, my heritage, my culture thing is so much more important in the Islamic world than it is remotely anywhere in the West, which is why so many people hold on to their Islamic culture and to rules within Islam. I think that answers the question. I kind of answered the same thing just now. But thank you so much for the question, Tip 001. I see that my camera is kind of unsharp right now. I will quickly correct that. Just give me a tiny second. All right. Here we solved it. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's come back to normal questions. Bad Influence said, so much respect to this man. Thank you so much. Enver Kemal said, can you speak Turkish a bit? Yes, I can. Nasılsın kardeşim? Ne yapıyorsun? Hoş geldin. Daha fazla Türkçe konuşmak istemiyorum çünkü herkes İngilizce konuşuyor. I hope that's enough. And to all Germans, hallo Freunde, herzlich willkommen. Ich freue mich sehr, dass ihr alle hier seid. Und and now to all French people, bonjour les amis French. I'm just kidding. Okay, awesome dude said, what do you think of AA exposing you? I talked about that giant child just at the beginning of this live chat. You can go back and watch what I said about your giant child. So, further, Kevin Robinson said, do Islamic marriages conform to civil law in the United States of America? They definitely do not. And I explained that quite clearly in some videos. I will definitely make more videos about that, but thank you so much. Regular comments. Brian C. Oliveira said, is your Twitter account suspended? Yes, it is. It has been permanently banned because I made a factual tweet in which I said Islam orders the killing of apostates, blasphemers, gays, this, that, and orders to fight against the non-believers. But of course, Islam is a religion of peace because it doesn't allow to kill spiders. And I was banned for that permanently. I appealed 3 times and Twitter rejected it. So it's not only a bot issue. I have been permanently banned on Twitter, but I have my personal account that I also use now to share usual opinions about Islam. And the handle to that is Apostate Ridvan. I can Apostate Ridvan which is my Turkish name. I also have a name just like you, but you can follow me there for updates and for all the other stuff. Now, okay, Slada MC said, "Cool, hallo lieber Apostate Prophet." Thank you so much. I love that there are German-speaking people here. Of all people, I feel the closest connection to you people. So because Germany is my home country that I missed so much throughout my life because I was torn away from it. Anyway, I'm gonna go into a corner and cry about that now. But thanks everyone for being here. Is it possible to eliminate Islam without harming the innocent people who don't know it's the truth, but they're ready to die for it? Rajneesh Mishra. That's a very, very bloody comment. I wouldn't like to talk about it that way. I don't ever want to advocate any militant eradication of Islam or whatever you want to call it. I would say I engage always in intellectually arguing with Islam, intellectually opposing Islam. Of course, I can also support policies and politics here and there, like stopping mass Muslim immigration, because I think it's a right to ask for that. But other than that, yeah, I think that's what we should all be doing. That's how we will solve the problem. How many people convert per day through you? Abhishek says, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I would love to see some data on that, but who knows? Gerard Perry said, "Don't AP. I don't know what I'm not supposed to do." Anyway, other comments. Other questions. Do you believe that Sharia law will be implemented in Turkey in the near future due to Erdogan's political dominance? Asked by Levent Yildiz. I wouldn't say it will go that far. I think Turkish people have no better than going back into this dark hole of Islamic supremacy in their country and Islamic repression in their country. Of course, currently half of the Turkish population kind of tries to control the country and tries to be more traditional and weird and religious, but I don't think it will go like that forever. I think more and more people in Turkey are turning their back toward Islam, and more people will oppose that eventually. Erdogan is not an immortal person. He will die eventually at some point, and the thing is, in Turkey, most people built their whole support of the government on Erdogan himself, which is a huge mistake in history to make, because when Erdogan is out of the picture, then the party is basically dead. But anyway, that's my opinion about Turkey. I don't really care about Turkey, but I would gladly talk about it. Let's get back to super chats. There are 2 super chats. S. LaRock said, Apostate Prophet, hope you're feeling well. Wanted to get your thoughts on starting a petition to have you debate Ali Dawa. Debate Ali Dawa? That's very low-hanging fruit. But sure, why not? I would totally do that. I would totally debate Ali Dawa. I would debate Ali Dawa, but for now I've only how many subscribers? I have only 86 or 88,000 subscribers, and Ali Dawa only considers talking if I have at least 100,000 subscribers. So I'm very sorry for that, Ali Dawa. Very sorry, I'm not big enough for you. But I would gladly have a talk with Ali Dawa, who's a very nice person. And my only requirement would be that it is made in a completely impartial, unbiased environment, not in some giant hall where people read the Islamic call for prayer and the Quran, and people yell Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, la la la la la. So, but for a talk in a neutral environment, why not? Sure. Thanks for the question. Shaq Cooper said, no matter how clear the message is, it may be unproductive in delivery. Why not appeal to those who really need to be freed from the ideology than to those who are on the same page with you? Because this is the only way to actually have a much bigger reach in the message that I'm trying to spread. I'm mostly talking to people who already oppose Islam to people who want to learn more about Islam, so they can also share their thoughts about Islam, and they can have a clearer opinion about Islam, so that they can go out and debate Muslims and so on. But the thing is, you shouldn't really see it that way, because I have received so many messages, and we still receive so many comments pretty much every day from Muslims who say they are a skeptic about their religion, and by engaging in conversations with us, they have started to doubt their religion. I have received so many messages from people who said that they left Islam after engaging more with the things that I showed them, which is great, which makes me always feel so great and grateful. So there is always a great result that we can get from this, from talking together about these problems regarding Islam. That's why I think this is quite useful. Anyway, thanks for the question. Hi, Gedalia. Thanks for having you here. Gedalia is always a very helpful viewer here, who is also moderating the chat from time to time. So thanks for being here, Gedalia. Let's not mock Ali Dawa. Dear friends, let's not mock Ali Dawa now. Come on. I just said he's a very nice person. All right. Okay. While you were a Muslim, did you ever do anything you now regret because of your belief system? Asked by Balti Pasta. I'm still laughing about Ali Dawa. I did. It wasn't very bad things that I did as a Muslim, but where should I start? I regret everything that I did when I was a Muslim. When I was a Muslim, I was so much in conflict with myself. I repressed myself so much. And thinking about it now, thinking about how I wasted so much time, I'm trying to get into the center, thinking about how I wasted so many great things, so much time, how I refrained from doing so many fun things in life when I was a Muslim, how I talked to other people in such a preachy way. It's just, I don't know, it's all a bit awkward, and it's all a bit embarrassing, but I'm not going to say I wish it never happened. I'm glad it did happen. I'm glad I was such a religious Muslim at some point, because that led me eventually to becoming a very fierce opponent of Islam. But thanks for the question. It's very interesting always to talk about these things, like transitioning from that religious situation into becoming non-religious, especially if it's Islam, because that's a very, very big change. All right. Maximus the Great said, do you like Ataturk? I like some aspects of Ataturk. I like what he generally did to Turkey, that he took the Ottoman Empire, which was a very quite Islamic empire, and turned it into a secular state. I like that, of course. I like the ideas that he advocated. I would also have some criticism directed at him, but he died 80 years ago, so, you know. But anyway, it's nice. More questions. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for the great comments, for all the great questions. And people are still talking about Ali Dawa. Don't forget to like the live chat. Don't forget to smash the like button, to cut off the hands and feet from opposite sides of the like button, whatever you want to do with it. I'm so inspired by how David Wood expressed liking, pressing the like button. I want to expand so much more on that right now. Tip001 said, my last donation. Well, thank you. Do you know Christopher Hitchens? He's a very interesting person who went to all debates to trash Islam. Is debating something you want to do? I love Christopher Hitchens because of the way he targeted Islam, and because of the way he was so focused on Islam, because of the way he was so honest and so harsh with Islam. I think he was one of the best in terms of criticizing Islam. But sadly, we have lost him. When did he die? Was it like 2012 or something? Anyway, I wish I had met him. He was really very great in criticizing Islam and deconstructing Islam. He did a very, very great job. I definitely do like him and his legacy. Debating is something that I kind of want to give myself a little bit of a little bit more time with. But if there really is a need and a request for me to debate a specific person like Ali Dawa, for example, I could sit down and it's a funny idea thinking to debate Ali Dawa, but anyway, Ali Dawa, if you see this, I'm very sorry. I could think of debating people. The only thing is that many Muslim apologists, especially people who call themselves Muslim apologists online and Dawa people online, have a very, very weird perspective of what a debate should be. As we have seen in the debate between David Wood and Mohammed Hijab, by the way. Mohammed Hijab is a person who insults his opponent and tries to humiliate his opponent, tries to target the personality and the person of his opponent during a debate. And that's not what a debate is supposed to be. That's number one of what a debate is not. Another person who insulted me so much asked me for a debate before, and I said, "Are you kidding me? No." If someone just wants to insult his opponent and degrade his opponent and talk about the personality of his opponent and be cheered by his Muslim audience, that's not a debate. That's some shit show, and I would definitely not do that. But if there was someone who could really sit down with me and have a very honest, reasonable exchange about Islam, about all the things we agree and disagree with, I would gladly, of course, have a debate with people. 7 Minutes Daily Meal made a super chat. Thank you so much, 7 Minutes Daily Meal. No question attached to that, but thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to regular questions. Stephen Wilson said, "Why do you think Muslims don't realize that Muhammad was of such low morality compared to other religious founders?" Well, because Muhammad is so much glorified within Islam. I mean, Islam is the only religion where you have one single figure in the center of a religion, and you are religiously supposed to imitate this person and to consider this person the favorite human of God, consider this person to be the most perfect human to ever walk the face of the earth. And you also have to believe, while doing all of that, that Islam is completely infallible, that any questioning of Islam is completely wrong, and so on. And with all of that combined, you end up believing that some guy who married a 6-year-old child, who had more than 11 wives, 9 or 11 of them at the same time, who was a warlord, who was a completely deceptive person, was a great human being. That's ridiculous, and that's one of those things that makes Islam really, really stand out as a horrible religion among all those religions. Because in no other religion will you have this one person that you have to look up to, who is just so morally unlikable. That's what I think about that. Gedalia said they only like to debate Christians. They are afraid of us. Oh, you're referring to those Dawa people. Yeah, I see that there is somehow this thing that these Muslim apologists tend to invite a Christian to a debate and talk about the Trinity and this and that, but they somehow refrain from debating a former Muslim who is just a former Muslim, for example. I don't know what that is about, but they know about us, and some people that I mentioned before actually know about me, and they have made that very clear before, but they seem to ignore me or others, which is quite nice. But as said, I'm always open to such debates, provided that they are made in a respectful manner in objective, unbiased environments. Tip001 says, "See you later." Thank you so much, Tip001. Thank you for all your donations that you made here. All right. Thanks everyone so much for joining, for all the great comments, for all the great participation. MB said, "AP, have you read the Talmud?" I haven't read it completely. I have read it partially, and I would actually love to go in the future into that sometime and talk a little bit about it, because there is actually something that I want to say about that in regard to Muslim anti-Semitism. Okay. Any comment on the peace-loving Muslims shouting racial slurs toward Jews today in France? What happened in France today? I haven't followed the news. Herzog condemns anti-Semitic verbal assault of French Jewish philosopher. Oh, okay. I haven't really heard anything of that, to be very honest, but that's why I can't make any comment about it. But it's something very common, you know. It's who could be surprised by an Islamic group, an Islamic crowd shouting anti-Semitic slogans? Surprise, surprise. Seriously. Gamze Demirtaş, Turkish name. Nice. Welcome. Mm. Gedalia, I'm feeling much better since all that stuff happened. My health is getting very much back in order. I'm feeling very, very much better. But thank you so much for caring. How is your relation to your family? Did they accept you leaving Islam? Asked by Anton Montana. Uh, it's funny, but they still don't know. I know I have like 89,000 subscribers here on YouTube, but my family still doesn't know that I left Islam. They will eventually find out. I don't know what they will say. I don't know how they will handle it. They will probably initially try to call me and try to talk to me and ask me what the hell is this about, and try to call me back and then cut ties for a while. I don't know what will happen, but for now, my relationship with them is quite okay. Someone might even have told them and they didn't even tell me or something. I don't know. But for now, everything seems to be fine. Ram Runner said, will you do a video about the Quran alone movement? I will definitely in near future. Thank you so much for your contribution, Ram Runner. Wojciech Michael said, I don't know what you said. I need to drink water very quickly. Okay. Will you make a video about an Egyptian atheist who can get 15 years in prison for apostasy, blasphemy, and standing for rights for homosexuals? He wants to leave the country. I believe you are talking about Sheriff Gaber, or Sheriff, yeah, whatever his last name is. I believe you're talking about Sheriff, the ex-Muslim who is in Egypt. I followed his story a little bit. I might talk about him a little bit more after checking what happened to him recently. I need to look a bit more into that, but definitely I would always be in support of other critics of Islam who also happen to be former Muslims. Definitely. I supported him briefly on Twitter, but Twitter thought it was a great idea to kick me off their platform. So anyway. Absal Hussein said, do you believe in the existence of a creator? Surely everything didn't happen by accident. I am I'm always very conflicted about what I want to how I want to express my thoughts on creation and non-creation and this and that. That's why I kind of want to make a video about what I believe and why I don't believe in the one God and so on. But as far as my beliefs are concerned, I respect religions. I don't believe in religions. I don't believe that that there is a God. I don't believe that anything was created by a big God or anything, or by gods. I just don't believe in that because it doesn't logically appear correct to me, and I have many, many reasons not to believe in that. But the thing is, I also don't know what else is going on, what else happened. I can't completely believe in one single specific theory about how the Earth came into existence, about our future, about our origins, about the origin of humans and planets and the universe and so on. Because as explained in a very recent video, we don't even know the shape of the universe. We don't even know how big the universe is. We don't know what other galaxies really look like and so on. So I'm just a skeptic. I'm a free thinker. I wonder about things. I don't have a very specific gnostic opinion about all of that. And I'm a respectful person as if we come to religion. Except if it's Islam, which is barely a religion. Shaq Cooper said, science. The universe exploded in existence from nothing outside of our reality. No space, time or matter. A living cell cannot rise from matter. DNA is 2B in the first cell. How can you be an atheist? I didn't even see this comment before I started talking about this. I think I pretty much summarized that right now. But thank you so much for your super chat and for your comment. La, la, la, la, la. Doorknob had said, Apostate Prophet has been doing lots of naked yoga to get his health back. In my imagination, yes. Exactly. That's what I'm doing every day throughout the day. In fact, I don't want to get up right now because I'm half naked. No, I'm not. Joe Leonard said, hi from Polish Catholics. Yes, the Talmud is a good subject. I know nothing about the Talmud. I used to think that's the Old Testament, but I've found out that's changed. No, the Talmud is actually, the Talmud is the oral tradition of Jews, of Jews as we know Jews today, as we know Judaism today. Pretty much every Jew recognizes or strictly follows the Talmud, and it is based on discussions by rabbis, discussions based on the Torah. So it's not the same as the Torah, but I would love to go further into that at some point in the future when I talk about my opinion on all these things. I would love to expand these talks a little bit beyond Islam in the future anyway. Can you please repost that damn funny video in which you said how many times one should pray to Allah? Zach Ryan. I don't know what you're referring to. Can you please repost a damn funny video in which you said how many times one should pray to Allah? I don't know what that is referring to. Was it? Are you talking about the flying horse video in which I don't know. Please elaborate further on that. But thank you so much for your question. More regular questions. Hubble said, did you or are you going to create a new Twitter account? I did. I have a Twitter account, which is Apostate Ridvan. That's the handle. If you want to find it, it's Apostate Ridvan, Ridvan, which is my real name. I have a real name too, just like you. Yeah, I have a personal account there. You can follow there for more updates. And if you just like following me. Samuel Barrett made a super chat and said, I have a website where I talk about many things, including origins and things like that. Would you be open to viewing it if I sent you the link? I would gladly do that, sure. You can send me the link on Twitter or on theapostateprophet@gmail.com. Theapostateprophet@gmail.com. Theapostateprophet@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Barrett. Do you think that Muhammad was a narcissist? Yes, I do. I believe that he had far more problems than just being a narcissist. But thank you for the comment, Teratopia. All right, more regular comments. What do you think of Muslims who claim Quran verses only meant for wars happened in the past? That is absolutely not true. If you it's not true. If you look at any Islamic scholar who made any commentary, who made any exegesis on the Quran, they will all tell you the opposite. That Islamic orders about wars are mostly general orders and treatments with non-Muslims. They are to be taken as examples. I mean, you can't believe that the Quran is a divine instruction for all times, and that every verse in the Quran is a verse that you should take an example from, but at the same time believe that most of the Quran is just consists of verses that have no use in our time anymore, that just were for times back then. That's a big contradiction. The Quran has very violent, intolerant, horrible statements, and most of them are to be taken literally, and organizations like the Islamic State are taking them very literally. But thanks for the question. More regular questions. Let's see. Why do you still have a Muslim name? Siddharth Kumar. It's not really a Muslim name. I mean, it's Ridvan, it's Arabic. Oh, yeah, of course, it's inspired by Islamic culture, but it refers to an angel, and it also kind of means appreciation. But I don't think it's a very big problem. It's not a very common Muslim name anyway. And why would I go and change my name just because I left Islam? That would be like That would be like changing a name from Daniel into Fadullah, blah blah blah, just because you became a Muslim, which is ridiculous. Super chats. Jacob Sum said, check my question at 4:06 Eastern time. When was that? I don't see times here, sadly. What is your username? Jacob Sum. Let's see. As Islamic countries become modernized, do you believe the actual words of the Quran will be taken more or less literally? Most Muslims interpret the Quran as peaceful to fit their lifestyle. Do you agree? I believe, of course, I believe there is a big change going on in how Muslims interpret Islam, and how they interpret Islamic scripture, in how they believe in their Islamic religion, and so on. There is a very big change going on, and this change even disturbs many Muslims, and makes them say things like, "Oh, our Muslim community is becoming less and less religious. What is happening?" and so on, which is great news for the rest of the world. But of course, the more we are going into the future, the more we see influence from the outside, from the Western world, for example. The more we are getting familiar with the internet, where we can where we can access information so quickly from all around the world, people will change their stances on Islam, and will be less and less fundamentalistic in their Islamic beliefs. If we look at Turkey, for example, Turkey is still a country that could be included in the Islamic world, but is also very secularist in their ideas and stances. So many other Muslim cultures are the same. So many rather religious Muslim cultures become less and less firm in their religious stances as the more we progress into the future. And the more and more people will change, and that's why as an apostate prophet, my prophecy is that in 200 years Islam will be dead, because a new generation in 200 years will not be interested in following Islam. They will consider that some old nonsense that no one needs to follow. In the last 50 years, we have developed so much. We have gone so far into the future. In 200 years, that will have changed even more. We have developed like this, then we started developing like this, and now we are flying into the universe with such speed in terms of human development. And in the future, people who are far further in the future won't care about living Islam the Islamic way anymore. But great question. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for the comment. Nekdolan said, have you heard about Göbekli Tepe? Not really, no. I didn't really care much about it properly. But thank you so much for the question. Sadly, I cannot say much about it. Ron's Records made a super chat. Thank you so much. No question is attached, but anyway, thank you. What's the deal with people changing their religious name changing their names when they convert to Islam? Asked by 613, a regular question. Well, the thing is, it's an Islamic tradition. It's an Islamic teaching, an Islamic attitude, a culture, to have Islamic names, to have names that sound Islamic and that have good meanings. It's a very common thing in Islamic culture that people name their children according to what would sound nice from an Islamic perspective. Some are just mainstream Muslims and pick any word that is in the Quran, even if it means something completely ridiculous. But that's usually the main idea. But when people convert to Islam, they just do it as kind of an identity thing. They believe that the Prophet will call them by their names in the afterlife, which is ridiculous. But they also want to be known by Islamic names, because when you convert to Islam, you also want to identify with Islam. Islam has this identity issue very much. You are supposed to have your beard in a specific way, wear your clothes in a specific way, and so on. And the name is just an extension of that. A person whose name is Kevin doesn't want to be known as Kevin anymore, and calls himself whatever. That's why they do that. But I just think that's ridiculous. Oh. Well, there was just a big coincidence. The name Kevin is actually a name of a convert to Islam whom we prominently mentioned at the beginning of this conversation. I don't know how the name Kevin got into my head, but that was not intentional. But anyway, he's a giant child anyway. S String said, "I am an agnostic Saudi in a desperate situation. I really want to leave Saudi, but I can't also ditch my family. What should I do?" I really struggle with giving people any advice on how to handle the whole situation as ex-Muslims, especially if they live in such religious traditional countries like Saudi Arabia. But I would say, one thing I thought when I left Islam, and when I became less and less religious and more opposed to Islam, was that on one side I should probably keep quiet. I should probably not talk about things. I should probably stay close to my parents and this and that. But on the other side, I also thought, come on. Um, I think that goes especially for you if you have religious relatives and religious parents and religious people. If other people put their religion above me and value their religion above me and would probably punish me because of religion and would disown me because of religion, then why do I even care about those people? Why do you even care about those people? Why do you respect your parents' will to, be peaceful with Islam in the family if they wouldn't do the same thing for you if you left Islam? If you leave Islam, some people could even go as far as just torturing you, beating you, putting you into a room, or killing you. Why would you decide to put up with that? Why would you decide to respect that? Why would you decide to be peaceful with that? My suggestion to you is, if you have the means, please work toward your own future, stand on your own feet, make your own money, and do your best to leave the country to go into a more appreciating, a more beautiful, a more free culture. Try to do that. If you can do that now, please do that now. Don't even wait. If you can't do that, no matter if you are a man or a woman, it's much more difficult if you are a woman. But please seek the means and care about your own life, because no one else cares about you besides you. So that is my best advice that I can give. Kay De Winter, thank you so much for your comment. Thank you so much. Oh, all right. Let me be a bad boy and vape. I'm not gay, by the way. Uh, all right. Let's see some more regular questions that I haven't answered before. La la la la la la la la. Eternal Battle said, "What is your opinion of Serbia?" I love Serbia. I've been to Serbia twice. I love it. I even considered in the past moving to Serbia, but I really love that country. It's beautiful. Very nice people. Why don't you become a Christian, Hilm Nate? Because as much as I like Christianity, the thing is, as much as I like Christianity, I don't believe in Christianity, and I wouldn't want to become a Christian if I don't believe that it is true. How would I be able to follow a religion? How would I be able to integrate myself into a religion if I cannot believe, and if I had to have good reason to believe that it is not real? Wouldn't it be much worse to know that I identify as Christian, that I carry a cross, that I say that I'm a Christian, but in fact I don't believe? That's why. But thanks for your question. Harry Daz said, "What was Muhammad also gay?" Only a little bit. Uh, Prof said, "Hey, Apostate Prophet, are you sub to PewDiePie?" Of course I am. PewDiePie is a very is a genuinely good person, and he's a genuinely nice person. That's why I don't think it's childish to support PewDiePie. I think he's a genuinely nice person. He's genuinely funny. He doesn't even need to try to be funny. So I really like that guy. Uh, La la la la la la la la la. Someone asked me to speak Turkish again. Merhaba kardeşim, hoş geldin. Fazla Türkçe konuşmak istemiyorum. Hadi İngilizceye geçelim. What if Israel was annihilated? What would be the implications to the world? Asked by Sergio Vicente. I think I explained that kind of in my video that I made about the Israel-Palestine conflict. And I kind of implied that if Israel put its weapons down, Israel would be annihilated. And if the Palestinian organizations put their weapons down, there would be peace. And that's why I'm also completely in support of America supporting Israel, financially and otherwise, because Israel is a country that greatly contributes to human progress and to the world in so many ways. Israel is a leader in science, is a leader in so many products that we need today in our lives. Israel is the only free country for Arabs in the Middle East, and Israel is the only country where minorities have rights in the Middle East remotely. So if America, for example, dropped their support for Israel, and if the surrounding countries decided to attack Israel and to get it out of the way, which they still couldn't do, I mean, Israel beat all of them in 6 days. So what are we talking about? But there's not much of an implication. That is literally what would happen if we stopped supporting Israel. But thanks for the question. All right, there are some super chats coming in again. DC said, do you think Islamic Dawah sessions typically use lies and trickery to get gullible people to revert to the faith? I have seen some videos, and it seems speakers lie and coerce people into the faith. They indeed do. I did Dawah myself before, and I've been among many Dawah groups, and anyone who engages in Islamic missionary activities, anyone who engages in dawah, please don't lie. You know exactly that I'm telling the truth. When dawah organizations go around and teach each other how to, and tell each other how to make dawah, how to invite people to Islam, one of the most common tactics, one of the most common things that they tell themselves and their little recruits who invite people to Islam is, don't be too strict and too open about very difficult Islamic matters. Keep those in the background unless the person specifically asks for those things. Try to approach them with lighter things, with more easy things, and with very positive things. And don't try to get them into very harsh things, because those things might make them reject Islam. Try to that's what they do. Try to approach them with very light things, because once they come into Islam, they can learn about the harsher things within Islam. But then they will be ready for that. This is a very basic, a very common dawah trick around the world everywhere. And probably everyone who engages in dawah and Islamic invitations knows this exactly. But yeah, it is. I really want to make a video specifically dedicated to that topic. But thank you so much for your comment, for your question, DC. All right, I have 5 more minutes. I want to go 5 more minutes, and then I want to go offline and be done with this for the day. I'm currently moving into a new location and want to make my videos and all my live talks and everything there. I have also some other projects that I'm working on right now, but since we have only 5 minutes left, let me go through questions and answer them very quickly. All right. Only serious questions, only questions I haven't answered before. Al-Murabishan, how much money do you get online? A lot. I'm also paid by Mossad. Harry Dess said, Turkey was such a secular progressive nation post-Ataturk. Why has it become so Islamist? Because Islamic sentiments have been very much repressed in Turkey, which is a thing we have to say. And those Islamic sentiments have eventually started to rise up again and try to take things into their own hands and try to reverse everything and make the country more Islamic. That's basically what happens if you control Islam in such harsh ways and then become softer with it. You should probably not do all of that to begin with. Joshua Savage said, I will leave the super chats to the end, but let me look into regular questions without super chats. Are you a supporter of Israel? Asked by Lauren Janelle. Partially. I support Israel's right to existence. I think Israel has been very, very right and truthful in the whole conflict. Of course, Israel is just another state, and I'm never 100% behind any state in this world. But thank you for the question. Thank you for the participation, everyone. Would you have discussions with an Arabic ex-Muslim living in the United States? Of course I would. Thank you so much. When you were a Muslim, did you have thoughts of fighting jihad in the name of Allah? Asked by Michael Elfers. I did. I did. I didn't believe in actively, aggressively fighting for Allah. I mean, I didn't believe that we had to take up our arms and fight against the disbeliever. That was not my belief, and my school of thought, my circle, didn't teach us any of that. We never believed that that we had to fight the people. But we believe that we had to go around and invite people to Islam, of course, with the same trickery that Dawah people do, as just explained. But as all Islamic religious groups, whether they be fundamentalist or Sufis, believe, we believed in the end time theories, and we believe that that days will come where the infidels, especially the Jews, they appear everywhere in bad stories in Islam, that the Jews will fight the Muslims and the Muslims will fight against the Jews and defeat them all and this and that. But yeah, I believe that end times could come, and if they come in my time, that I had to fight for that. I did. Thank you so much for the question. Give me 1 second. Don't forget to like the chat, guys. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. Thank you all so much for joining. Mayam Dane 777 said, do you understand German? Yes, I speak German. German is my first language. My second language is Turkish. My third language is English. PS4 or Xbox? Android 1991. PS4. I actually got myself a PlayStation 4 very recently because I thought I need to have something that I can spend a little bit of me time with. So if anyone wants to share their PlayStation 4, their PlayStation ID with me, and wants to play games like Grand Theft Auto Online with me, please do. All right. Let me quickly go to some things here. Why is it so intoxicating when you go into a mosque? GS4 trap. I hope that answers your question. How many people have you converted away from Islam? Asked by Seb in space. I don't know how many it is, but I used to keep a collection of messages that I received from Muslims or former Muslims who told me that I helped them leave Islam or I helped them doubt Islam. But of course, I didn't count this. It has been a lot, and I'm really happy about that. And there will be so much more. Come to Holland. I have been to Holland actually twice, technology evangelist, but thanks for the invitation. No, I haven't been twice. I have been to the Netherlands once, but I spent like a week in Amsterdam and Rotterdam. Is my wife Jewish? Success system. No, she's not. She's a former Christian. What is the difference between North Korea and Saudi? Thanks for the question, but really not very relevant right now. Why do Muslims dislike Jews so much? Maybe you covered this in a video, but I might have missed it. I actually want to. I'm actually planning on making a video very soon about Islamic anti-Semitism and how much it is, deeply rooted in Islamic society, in Muslim society, because my own family was extremely anti-Semitic. Most Muslims that I knew were extremely anti-Semitic, and so was my own Muslim community. But I want to talk about that quite soon, actually. Would you like to speak with Achse Ost-West? Wow, nice to see that name here. Islam is fascism. I would love to, yes. I watched some of his videos. Achse Ost-West is a German guy of some Muslim culture dissent, and he talks very, very, very, very brutally, honestly about immigration and this and that. But yeah, I watched some of his speeches. I quite liked it. I would love to have a talk with him. Sure. Gamze Demirtas said, "Are there any cases against me legally?" No, there are not. Because of I have this thing. I received this notice. I don't know. Many might have seen it, but I received this notice on Twitter that Pakistan declared many of my tweets illegal in Pakistan, and that I broke the law of Pakistan. So if I ever stepped foot on Pakistani soil, I would probably not even be allowed to enter Pakistan. But even if I entered Pakistan, I would probably have a lot of trouble with the law. But that's an honor. I mean, if you're not a criminal in Pakistan just by your ideas, then please have ideas that make you a criminal in Pakistan. Like Islam is bad. Okay. I think we are done. I will end the live chat and go into some more other things that I need to do for the rest of the day, like moving into a new place. But let me see. Yeah, someone asked if Turks are closely related to Jews. They're mostly not, but I actually have some Jewish ancestry, apparently. Antimony Cup, yes, I loved Amsterdam. I loved I loved Rotterdam too, but I loved Amsterdam much more. Okay, there was 2 super chats that I want to answer finally as well. Joshua Savage made a super chat. Thank you so much, Joshua. Said, "Do you think the wider Islamic community, more specifically imams, know who you are? I wore the Apostate Prophet shirt around Muslim friends, and now they refuse to talk to me. Could it just be the image?" I think it might be just the image, because it might appear a little bit offensive to people. But yeah, there might be some people who know of me by now. The channel is growing very, very fast, and thank you all so much for that. But yeah, it might just be the picture, which is kind of funny. Ron's Record, another super chat, said, "What are your thoughts on groups like Muslim Against Homophobia Australia, who attend and have flaws in the Sydney gay and lesbian Mardi Gras?" I think they're ridiculous. I mean, if there are some Muslims who oppose hate within Islamic culture, like hate against gay people, then of course that's a great thing. Please do that. Please support such things more. Please make groups of Muslims against killing apostates. Please make groups of Muslims against killing blasphemers and all that stuff. I would love that. Why not? It's a great intention. But those people should also realize where all of that hate comes from. It comes directly from Islam. That's it. But thank you so much, Ron, for the super chat, and thank you so much, Joshua, for the super chat. Thank you all so much for the participation, for the comments, for the super chats, for being here. Wow. And I'll be here soon on Wednesday with another video. I'll be here in about 2 weeks with another live chat. I might have another talk. I might have a live chat on Atheist Republic tomorrow, I think, with Armin Navabi. I will be there. So if you want to join me, you can join me there. I might share a link to that on Twitter and Facebook. And no, I just breathe and swallow at the same time. Okay. And thanks everyone for joining. Thank you all so much. I will make German videos very soon. I will likely be live with David Wood again later this week. And there will be so much more to do. We have a lot of stuff to do, and I'm here to do all of that. Thanks everyone for joining. Hit that like button, smash that like button, kill that like button before you leave. And thanks for being here, and have a great day, and stay away from Islam.